What is up, beautiful people? My name is Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. Now, if you're new, then definitely please consider subscribing and take a look around the channel at my past reviews. But if you're not new here, then hey, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. And you already know my name's Tyler, and I'm glad you're here. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video of Die-Abolical Bet by Nicholas Lawrence. A little bit different of a trick for Nicholas, but let's do it right now. First off, you need to know what actually is Die-Abolical Bet. The magician hands out a shot glass and a translucent die to be examined. The magician removes a pair of cards from the deck and stacks a card on the glass, the die on the card, and then the second card on the die. With one swift motion, the magician presses down on the little stack and the die passes through the card and into the glass. The magician sets up the intriguing tower of objects again, and the spectator is invited to press down, and impossibly, the die passes through the card again. The magician then hands out the glass, the die, and the cards for everything to be examined at the end. Die-Abolical Bet comes with a precision-made gimmick that will make this solid-through-solid effect possible, and there are no flaps, trapdoors, or sliding panels. The clever principles in play allow your audience to see the die clearly on the card while surrounded, and yet still it passes through the card. As a bonus, you'll also learn a kicker ending where you apparently show a hole in the card that the dice must have passed through, only to reveal that the hole is formed into a black sticker and the card is completely solid. Along with the expertly taught tutorial from Nicholas Lawrence himself, you receive multiple gimmicks to perform this trick again and again. Perform one of the most stunning solid-through-solid effects with ordinary objects. This is Die-Abolical Bet by Nicholas Lawrence. Now that you know what Die-Abolical Bet is and what you'll be receiving, let's talk about some more questions you may have, such as how difficult is it to perform? Die-Abolical Bet is not that difficult to perform, but it is going to take a little bit of practice. It pretty much just uses basic card sleights, and during the actual routine of getting the die through the card into the shot glass, that's super easy and almost self-working, so you really don't have to worry about sleight of hand there. What you really have to worry about when difficulty comes into play is how to get these cards examined and make sure you can hand everything out at the end. That's what takes a little bit of work. How are the angles for this effect? Well, the angles for the actual penetration are angle proof. It really doesn't matter what angle they're at for the penetration when it goes through the cards into the shot glass. But when it comes into question of, hey, are the angles really 360 the whole time? Maybe, kind of, in a way. It really just depends on how good you are at misdirection and audience management, because personally, I'm going to have people in front of me when I perform this. I'm not going to have people behind me, just because it's going to make it a lot easier to misdirect to make sure I can get everything where it needs to be in order to hand out everything at the end. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't want to say too terribly much, but basically, the easier it will make the effect easier on you if your audience is just in front of you when it gets towards the end of the effect and you're trying to get this stuff handed out for examination. Is Die-Abolical Bet examinable? Yes, we've touched on this. By the end of it, you can make it examinable. Is there a DIY when it comes to Die-Abolical Bet? Not really. The reason I say not really, I'll get into a little bit later. But I will say the only bit of DIY that you might need to do in the beginning is cutting out a black art sticker square from the material that they give you, so that way you can do that kicker ending if you want to do that. The other reason that you might need to do it is because you might want to remake your gimmick in the future, but I will explain what I mean by that in a future segment. Give me a second, I'm talking about other stuff first. What's the setup and reset like for Die-Abolical Bet? It really doesn't exist. Once you've done that initial part of getting your black art sticker ready, then you're ready to go, as long as you have these cards on you and the die, which honestly, you don't have to have the shot glass. You could be out at a bar, at a restaurant, and they have a shot glass that, as long as it's like a standard shot glass, like the one that comes with the kit, the little box you get, then you should be fine. It'll work with pretty much any standard shot glass. So I just want to throw that out there. You can just carry the cards and the die on you and go right into it when somebody has a shot. Like, you could literally be out at the bar, someone take a shot, and then do it right out of their shot glass, as long as it's a shot glass that'll work, which it works with most standard shot glasses. Are there any negatives when it comes to performing Die-Abolical Bet? Not really with performing, but there are some negatives about the gimmick itself, and I just kind of want to warn you about it. So the gimmick itself is actually made from strictly just playing cards. There's no extra pieces of like plastic or really any tape or anything like that. It's just playing card that this thing is made out of, which means that this is going to have the same wear and tear on it that normal playing cards would. So I just want to put that out there, that if you're using this gimmick a lot, you're using it, pretty frequently, you're going to be putting some wear and tear on this gimmick, which means you might need to make another one in the future. Obviously, you can. It's not that difficult to do. They actually walk you through how to do it in the tutorial video. But with all that said, it is something they need to be aware of, and just know that, hey, if you're using this thing a lot, you may have to make another one in the future. It won't take too long, probably take about 10-15 minutes, but I did just want to make you aware of that. One more thing I want to warn you about is that you might be a little disappointed when you see the gimmick and when you open up the box and go, oh, is this it? Yeah, that's it. It's kind of underwhelming compared to Nicholas Lawrence's previous releases. I mean, when you think about Nicholas Lawrence, you think about his style of Magic, you think of these crazy gimmicks that he's known for, that he's built, or something like Wild. Well, this is not really a crazy out-of-the-box type gimmick. This is pretty simple. I mean, there's not really much going on here. Now, with that said, it still gets the effect done, it accomplishes it, and the spectator obviously doesn't know, like, how it's done, so the complexity of the gimmick really doesn't matter to them. But as a magician, when you open this thing up, I just kind of want to warn you, you're paying $40 for a shot glass, a die, and you're going to be like, and this little gimmick here that I could have made at home, yep, that is what you're paying for. So I just kind of want to warn you for that. What are the positives about Die-Abolical Bet? Die-Abolical Bet is something that is going to play really hard depending on the situation that you're in, because if you're in like a restaurant or if you're at a bar, maybe a game night with some friends, I think this is perfect. So I think if you're performing this in the correct situation, you can get some really cool reactions out of it. You also, it's like nice that you get to do it and then the spectators get to participate and kind of feel like they're doing some of the magic. That's a fun thing as well. I also love the kicker ending with the black art square. That's a nice addition as well. So all around, yeah, it's a pretty neat trick, but it's still got those drawbacks I listed earlier about like the price and, you know, the gimmick itself. You know, it will wear and tear over time. What should this retail as? Well, currently this is going to retail for about $40 US, and is that a fair price? Honestly, not really. I mean, I kind of touched on this earlier. You're going to kind of open it up, and I know we're not necessarily paying for the price of materials, we're also like paying for a secret as well, but still, it's like you're getting like a 50-cent shot glass and a die and a gimmick that's been, you know, pretty easily made. I just want to throw that out there. It's something that probably could have retailed for more like $30-$35, but then again, it's also like you are paying for a secret, so we kind of go on that scale as well. It really just depends, but I'd say probably more like $30-$35. And I really wish there could have been like a downloadable option. Not saying that this should have been a download, because I know not everyone has like the correct shot glass or the correct die, but I wish that there might have been a download option. I still might have went with the physical option at first, because obviously I didn't know how it worked, but now knowing, it's like, well, maybe I could have made this at home and didn't have to pay whatever. It probably should be a little bit cheaper. That's the point of this. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it, so thank you so much for that. And if you feel that Die-Abolical Bet is a trick for you, then there's a link to purchase it in the description down below. So once again, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, then be sure to leave a like on it, because the like really does help me in the algorithm. So thanks so much for that, and hopefully I'll see another video that I post on the channel sometime soon. I'll see you next time. See ya. Look how Grace did. She brought me a donut for my birthday. Actually, a lot of them, but thank you.
You're welcome.